family, my external family, where people are like, "Oh yeah, he runs the clothing brand." So being synonymous, being kind of put in this place where you didn't really see yourself, but now it's just like you enjoyed the business, you enjoyed the creativity. Um, it wasn't until I actually got to Davis that I realized I had a true passion for it, that I had a true passion for creating, that I had a true passion for building business and, building opportunity. And it wasn't necessarily solely the fashion, but just the ability for the fashion to be able to create community.
All right, we're out. There he is right there. What's going on? Abdulaim A. Umar. What's popping?
Yo, what's going on, guys? Thank you for having me on.
Hey, of course. You always had good vibes, man. That's why I appreciate when I first met you in Davis, right? Complete like a bright light, right? Just so much energy, so much positivity. You were like at every function, you were dancing. We had to teach you some moves a little bit, but you were dancing and stuff like just always good vibes. And it's good to see today, like you still have that vibe with you.
Yes, that has not changed.
Yeah, I appreciate that. I appreciate that. And it was nice to see you guys in the intro. You guys saying you guys were each other's everything. That made my day. That made my day. That was cute.
You can keep that clip, brother. But for the folks that don't know you, can you please give a nice introduction? Who are you? Where you're from? And our starter question, our icebreaker that we like to give folks is, what advice would you have for couples, for married couples that are out there trying to make their first meal?
That's heavy.
Yeah.
To start off, my name's Abdulaim. I was born in Oakland, California. Grew up in Berkeley, California, my whole life. So Bay Area native. Um, Met you guys at UC Davis.
Yeah.
Really felt like you guys took me under y'all wing. You, Markel, Javon, everybody, Sam, and just like really helped me navigate that my first couple of years there. So
Mm.
uh, I really like hold that close to me. Like that meant a lot to me. So I don't know if I ever got to voice that. So I want to make sure I voice that, Devon, and appreciate that. And to answer the icebreaker question, I feel like that's a loaded question. For me, it's I'm big on planning. I'm big on formulating a plan and creating goals and um, you know just making sure everyone's on the same page. I think setting the right expectations. In terms of where you're going to get your funds from, what you're going to invest in, how you want to kind of set up your life. Having those conversations, I think, from a couple standpoint, is where I'd say probably the best place to start.
Yeah, I agree. You need to have that convo, need to have that unified plan,
Oh
right?
yeah.
And I
100%.
hey, appreciate the affirmation, brother. It was a pleasure.
Hey, man.
You're
It's
changing
it's something that I was like, I don't know if they know. You know what I mean? Like, I want to make sure they know that, um, it's not easy making that transition, right? When you haven't seen anybody make that transition from the world you might different worlds you might come from, and then
Yeah.
to see other Black folks doing it, and for them to show you the ropes, and then you guys put me in position to be successful. I feel like from a job standpoint when I
Yeah.
first got to campus. So
Yeah.
yeah, and I'm really appreciative of that.
Hey, easy, man. I got you. We had you. And I feel like again for us, like, and I think I can speak for the whole mob, the whole team. It was really the vibe that you had that was just like, bro, yeah, come through. Like
Mhm.
whatever,
Nah,
whether we're hooping, whether we're chilling, like you just have good vibes. So why wouldn't we want you in that space?
Nah, and I felt that. I felt like super welcome. Like anytime come through. Like when we ran them barbershops, like like them Fresh Cut Fridays. Like
Yep,
it just felt like it was such a dope environment, right? Just
Yeah.
everybody just chilling. Like have to like I didn't realize till later. So many people thought I was in the frat. Like so many people thought I was a Sigma, and I was like, nah, they're just those are my dogs. Like they show me so much love, and yeah. So it's a great experience, great time for sure.
Can you talk about how you're able to stay positive, how you're able to have a positive vibe despite, maybe the environment that you were in, or despite maybe things, ups and downs that are happening in your life? I feel like, you've been positive. And I think that can be a, a tip or a message for other people out there who are dealing with real life COVID, dealing with health issues, dealing with maybe money things going up and down, not in the best environment, but they're trying to get that their mindset or their vibe on the right frequency. Can you talk about things that you do that help?
Yeah. For me, I feel like I just try to keep everything in perspective. Um, my my upbringing, my experience growing up, my background, my parents' background, just like being a first generation, the child of immigrants. Being one generation removed from war. So
Mhm.
it's just I think it's just maintaining perspective about the opportunities that we have, and I think the older I get, the more that I feel what really fuels me is opportunity. Just like being able to create my own opportunity and take advantage of opportunities, and be able to see them. You know what I mean, and be able to make something an opportunity that might not necessarily be one. Right.
Right.
For me, it just like I just always am thinking in the future. Um, and I know like, it might be to a fault where it's like, hey, you need to be more present or be more in the moment. But I'm very much so like that. But it's what keeps me. It's like, hey, like there's always an opportunity for a better tomorrow. There's always an opportunity for a better tomorrow, not just for myself, but for my family, my friends, my community. Um, the world that I come from, and I just feel like I have a great chance and a great opportunity to have a big hand in that and changing things for the better.
Yeah. Love that.
My name is Sinclair, and I'm a functional diagnostic nutrition practitioner who has created a program that takes a deep dive into your hormone levels and your overall metabolic health to create a highly personalized weight loss protocol that will have you lose up to 30 pounds, gain energy, and have you feeling so good that you go into the back of the closet and pull out that freakum dress. We all have one. So, if you are ready to invest in the last weight loss program you will ever need, go to queen2queencoaching.com and book a discovery call to figure out which queen to queen package is right for you. Talk to you soon. Well, speaking of being able to find opportunities, tell us about how you started in fashion. What brought you to fashion? How
Yeah.
did you find that opportunity and really take that and run with it?
Yeah. So my story, or in fashion, really started um, around 15, 16, and I just remember telling two of my friends it was our last day of school, and our sophomore year of high school, and we had this little pizza place we'd go to and play pool, and just telling them, like, hey, I don't think it's too hard. I don't know, I don't remember where I got the idea from. I was like, I don't think it's too hard to, like, start a clothing brand. Um, and we talked about it for a little bit, but it didn't really go anywhere. And the next day, one of my friends kind of sent us a name. What do you guys think about this for a name for a brand? And we kind of went from there. And it wasn't necessarily like a passion for fashion. It wasn't necessarily. I think I more so had a passion for business and entrepreneurship. Um, and what I didn't recognize at that moment is in my last 2 years of high school, our brand gained a lot of traction, not only just in my neighborhood, but in my my community, my family, my external family, where people are like, oh yeah, he runs the clothing brand. So being synonymous, being kind of put in this place where you didn't really see yourself, but now it's just like you enjoyed the business, you enjoyed the creativity. um it wasn't until I actually got to Davis that I realized I had a true passion for it, that I had a true passion for creating, that I had a true passion for building business and, building opportunity. And it wasn't necessarily solely the fashion, but just the ability for the fashion to be able to create community. A lot of people kind of gravitated towards the messaging and just the brand in general, and being able to see the power of branding firsthand kind of happen, if that makes sense, without any clear intention outside of like, we want to make some money. We're 15, 16, 17, just trying to make some money. And you see, like, you're bringing people together. And then to me, when I got to Davis, it became more than the money. I want to really be able to build not only just a sustainable business, but um, I wanted to build community, and I really wanted to more so impact the culture as much as I can through this platform.
Love it.
Oh, yeah.
Oh yeah. I love that it started in high school,
Right.
right? And your brand has evolved with your own personal evolution, your own personal development. So can you talk a little bit? I want to know what that like first product was. What was that first shirt, right? And then how did you evolve? And I know the brands shifted as well, so that might be my follow-up question. But for folks out there that are trying to, start their first brand, how did you first launch? Like what was that product? I don't know if you remember how much it sold for. I don't know if you remember any of that stuff, but yeah.
Oof, we're talking close to 10 years, which is kind of crazy to think about.
Right.
I remember what the first product was. I remember specifically what it was. It was a gray T-shirt. And back then, the brand wasn't called Everything; it was called Tutto Everything, and
Yeah.
Tutto was Italian for everything.
Mhm.
So it was the words Tutto written across his shirt, but then it was like 3 blocks, right, of the kind of black power flag, right? It was red, green, and black. So we had like this, like we were like, okay, and it was printed um in East Oakland. Like, this guy had this printing press in his garage,
Mm.
and he kind of did it for us. And going through that experience, getting shirts made and then selling them and watching people wear them. And just a couple years ago, like I remember I was somewhere in downtown Berkeley and I saw somebody randomly wearing it. And I was with my brother, and I don't say like I see it. I'm like, that's so crazy. My brother is like, "Hey, where'd you get that shirt from?" And they're like, "Oh," and she was like, and then I recognized her. I think she was with her boyfriend, and I recognized him, and he's like, "Oh, it was a friend of mine in high school," and he was talking about my friend. So just to
Yeah.
be able to see that progression and see it like first shirt still being worn
Yeah.
was pretty wild. But yeah, it started off with not anything specific in terms of messaging, just like it was just like two tone because we were like Italian.
Yeah.
You want to be a designer brand. You got to have some type of foreign. So like it's okay, two tone Italian. We just named it two tone everything. And just started doing different logo iteration, just seeing what worked, what didn't. Um, I'm like a in class, I'm like a drawer, like a doodler. So I'm like anything I doodle, oh, this might be cool, put this on a hat or
Yeah.
something like that. So it was a really cool process and like started, like I said, with two of my friends. And so working together with them and really just being able to learn and navigate this world that we weren't familiar with, I think was a great experience at the time. And then um, you mentioned how the brand changed and evolved. We continued it. And you guys know Andrew who went to Davis, right? So Andrew was, one of my friends who decided to continue on with me when we were in Davis, and then, we just, life had you as we grew as individuals and our interests grew, our interests became different, and we figured out, different things. He wanted to do different things within the music and design space that he's doing amazing work in up to now. And for me, so I had this brand that you know is synonymous with myself. And I realized I didn't have like a clear kind of like platform or messaging. And to me, it
Mm.
was like the
Yeah.
reason I wanted to continue it,
Yeah.
right, for myself was because it became a passion. It became much more than just the money. It became like a way for me to have a creative outlet that I could monetize and continue to grow. And over time, I came up with the question, "What's your everything?" And I remember putting it as an Instagram caption one day, and I have the post probably archived or something. But I remember having that as an Instagram. And that's the first time I ever wrote that sentence out, and I was like, "That's a pretty deep question," And like a lot of the people around me were reading it like, "Whoa, that's really deep," And it just made me look at society. It's like we're put in boxes, we're put in categories. In school we choose majors. It kind of like silos you into a specific um, path in life. And I had so many varying interests that I didn't like this whole I have to be in one position, or have to be um, I can only do this because this is what you studied, or this is what you do. So you can't spend too much time doing this. You can't spend too much time. And I was like, look, my everything is so many different things. I have so many different passions. I love sports. I love, design and fashion now. Like as I've grown in this space, just like renewable energy and sustainable projects, things like that, like global
Yeah.
development and stuff like that. Those are things that um, in school that I started picking up. Languages, like I love languages, and I was like, I'm gonna create a platform, for people to pursue their everything. And it became like my phrase for how I really wanted to live my life in terms of, what what I tell people is what's that thing regardless of time, money, and resources, you're gonna find the time, money, and resources to do. Right.
Yeah.
And I'm sure for a number of us, it's going to be multiple things. We have multiple varying interests. I think as humans, we're very multifaceted. So that one question, that one phrase really, I think, encapsulated that whole idea. And my junior year in Davis, I decided to like really build out my business, create a 2-year plan, a 5-year plan,
Mhm.
um, and really put that as the foundation, right? Um, and what I did was, lead with this question. We wanted to create a platform that was multifaceted, thought like kind of like very big scale, in terms of expanding from just fashion into um, leveraging technology as well as storytelling.
Mhm.
Because what's good is a question without an answer.
Thank you for tuning in to the True Health Forever podcast. We hope you learned something valuable that you can take and implement into your life. Now, we've all heard that sharing is caring, and this podcast is no exception. If you enjoyed this episode, please share it with a friend, a family member, a coworker, a stranger walking down the street, anybody who you think can level up from this message. As always, we appreciate your support, and we'll talk to you next week. Be well.